9/27/24, Friday. I just recorded my last week's journal for the next video, and I had to cut out a couple of hateful comments regarding work. I don't know what detail I've gone into, but a week ago today, Paul brought up his concern for my ability to hold a grudge, and I obviously responded childishly and with meanness, but I knew it when he said it that he was right. It's strange to see it so clearly in retrospect when it wasn't even that long ago. I haven't gotten over my grudge, but I can at least recognize that giving it so much of my breath only increases the anger. I was thinking that keeping it in is what increased the hate, and letting it out would allow me more freedom. I think both things are true, and everything needs moderation. I hate the moderation lesson. It's everywhere. There's no amount of moderation in how much moderation you need in life, ironically. Now the word sounds weird. I've said it too much. Moderation. Moderation. Anyway, just wanted to jot that thought down. Less vocalizing my hate and more releasing it. I'm also realizing that there's so much I don't put in these journals just by not having the energy to always write them out. Like last Wednesday, when I had the day out of work, I also had a whole encounter with a subscription that I canceled 2 years ago, charging me out of the blue, and dealing with that and my bank and everything. I was so mad, and I completely forgot about it when it came time to journal. Moral of the story is to write down even when I don't feel able to. Subscription services can be so predatory. Paul had an old gym that would only accept a handwritten letter as a proper form of cancellation. What are they allowed to do? Make you jump through literal hoops? In my case, I have 4 emails that I sent requesting they cancel my subscription over the last 2 years because this isn't the first time they've charged me out of the blue. And 3 of those emails, I got a response back confirming they have canceled it, but none of them have any kind of reference number, and the only way to cancel is through that email, and they just don't respond to half the emails. Seems sketchy. I don't know. Today, I edited about half of my video and then went climbing. I flashed all the green routes, and I'm a move or 2 away from most of the blue ones. It feels good to even be that close. The only real thing I need is more trust in myself on the wall. I'm definitely strong enough, and I've been going consistently enough that now my height fear is pretty minimal. It's just the confident moves at the top that are scaring me off right now. I didn't really do weights because I was in my head. Then Paul and I got some teriyaki and watched signs and drank some wine. Overall, a very good day. 9/28/24, Saturday. I had a super busy day today. Lots of good productivity. First thing I did was go to a new cat cafe in town and hung out with a friend. We got drinks and food and waited for our reservation, then spent an hour petting sleepy cats and watching the kittens play. It was a really good few hours, and I'm glad I'm nourishing a friendship. Then, Paul and I went on our weekly date. He took me out to an insanely tasty barbecue joint. I have never had pulled pork that good. Even thinking about it makes me drool a little. With our full happy bellies, we hopped a mile down the freeway to a local salmon ladder. I've never actually seen salmon swim upstream. Last year, I was shocked at all the dead salmon around the Hood Canal. Apparently, after they breed, they die and just float on back down the water. The whole beach smelled rank, and some of the dead fish were massive. This trip, I got to see them on their way back to their hatching grounds, and there were so many. A kind older lady lent us her polarized glasses and pointed out the packed together salmon under the bridge. It was delightfully shocking. I loved watching their tails and fins cut above the water. We stood on the bridge for a while and watched a bunch try to jump up the waterfall, but none of the ones we saw made it up. The area, apparently, is too steep naturally for salmon to get up it, which is why they made the ladder system. There's a point in the ladder where we can see the fish past some glass walls, and it's just so cool how massive golden fish fade to invisibility with just a few inches of murky river water between them and the wall. We also got to see up close their hooked beaks and red glimmer. Then, at the top of the ladder, they had a roller coaster type of switchback line that the fish were simply packed into. A lot of the fish were jumping into the air and clearing the height of the walls. While we were watching, a salmon jumped too high and got stuck on the walkway. We watched him for an agonizing few minutes, hop more desperately, but he couldn't find the water. Paul left to go find someone, and I just watched horrified as slowly the hopping started to stop. I got close to the gate, and another woman told me she was considering hopping it. Then, Paul came back and said someone was going to radio over to someone else, but the fish had been out for minutes and was moving less and less, and there was no sign of anyone coming. I wanted to hop the fence, and Paul did too, and I encouraged him and said I'd fight the security if they came for trouble, and Paul gracefully got over and rescued the poor salmon. He estimated it was about 20 pounds and saw it swimming once it was in the water. Then he came back and hopped the fence again, and there was still no sign of anyone coming. The few ladies who also considered hopping the fence all thanked him, and we found a bathroom where he washed his hands, and that was it. Little adventure over. I'm sure that salmon die that way more often than I'd like, but it seems just terrible to come all that way on your life's last quest just to dry up on a walking grate. At least that one is back in the water. We got Cold Stone on the way back, and then spent a few hours cleaning up the house. My mom made a comment that she'd probably mind me quoting, but she said in passing and in context that the first few years of a marriage are basically training your husband to do chores the way you want them done. And there's something to that. I don't think I'm training Paul. I like to think I'm just informing him how I consider a chore done well enough that I won't have to redo it. I definitely have a more particular cleaning standard, and he's forever a champion for being willing to quadruple his preferred cleaning time, so I'm only doing about half of the chores. That being said, I get so hyper-fixated when I clean that I just make so much more work for myself. For example, I knew the inside of the car windshield needed cleaning, so I did that. And then I decided to wipe down the surfaces too. And that got me to totally clean out all the trash and items. And then of course, I had to vacuum. And while I was vacuuming, I could just break out my portable carpet cleaner and get the seats. And while I was doing that, I could remove and wash the floor mats in the washer. And after I did all of that quickly before the sun set, I still didn't consider it done because I could do most of those steps more thoroughly. It's like this with every cleaning task. I was considering steam cleaning the fireplace bricks and breaking out my sewing machine to get some easy patches done and fixing Paul's broken keychain all in the same after sunset cleaning push. The only thing that really stopped me was I want to paint tomorrow, so I had to finish editing my video tonight. I started at 8 and finished at 10, and then we ate our Cold Stone and watched Scrubs. My video was from a kind of sadder week of journaling, and I described some of my body dysmorphia in it. My dad watches all of my videos. Hi, Dad. And it was really sweet because I got a text from him about half an hour after I published it, and he was letting me know that I'm beautiful and should never doubt that. I love him, and I'm lucky to have all the people I do. An incredible Saturday. Excited for tomorrow. Louise out. 9/29/24, Sunday. Pretty relaxed Sunday. I slept in and then we had chocolate chip pancakes. Did you know the regular syrup on the shelf is actually just corn syrup? There's not even maple listed in the ingredients. We learned that recently and switched to this small jug that was more expensive but lasts forever and needs to be refrigerated. It's pure maple syrup, and the way it soaks into the pancakes instead of just sitting on top is golden. And it washes off with just a water rinse, no endlessly sticky fingers. I went on a health kick a few months back, and my two main takeaways are to eat way more veggies all the time and to read labels. Bodies don't process preservatives the way they do actual food, and it's been transformative in my life. I'm now way less sluggish after meals, as a general rule. Anyway, I painted a little bit, but couldn't get into it very much. My book detailed how to skin buffaloes, and my paints were mostly dried up, so I only logged like 2 hours of painting. Then I took a good ol' Sunday nap on the couch with Schuyler next to me. We only both fit on the couch if I don't roll over, so I never really sleep well, but it was worth it. Then we had pizza and salad for dinner and watched a scary movie. It was Hush, and I'd already seen it, but I'm so glad they don't kill the cat. One of my favorite horror movies. Does anyone else clench their teeth when something's just so cute and they just want to squeeze it so tight, but the cute thing would hate that, so you just clench your jaw and give very soft little pets? I certainly do. Pretty sure I cracked my molar from doing that. Just thinking about that while I type this out, and Schuyler rumbles beside me. That's all for today. Louise out. 9:30:24, Monday. Hi journal, I'm doing alright today. I've got a weird mix of productive energy and being low-key exhausted. Maybe I'm just exhausted as a permanent state of things. Hopefully not. The clinic is closed the next 2 weeks, so this week I'm deep cleaning the lab for work hours, and next week I'm going to help my family move into their new home. I made the plans thinking I wanted to do something with my free time, and I'm very excited for both things, but also realizing I could have sat around for 2 weeks, and now that it's those 2 weeks, that doesn't seem like a bad option anymore. But I need a paycheck, so I showed up and did a bunch of repairs at work while organizing the back closet and the pan room. I wanted to finish all the drawers and all the cupboards, but I just started enough to make a big mess. The middle of organizing is very chaotic. I like to pull everything out and selectively put things back in, which means every tucked away thing is sitting on the counter right now. It's very satisfying to put all of my coworkers' stuff on his desk and computer area so I can clear up the rest of the rooms. It shows just how much of the clutter is his personal stuff. He doesn't clean much. I'm being both petty and wise, I think, in my decision to not touch his desk spaces. I won't organize any of his area, even though it could badly use it. I think that would be too invasive, and he'd be mad at not knowing where things are anymore. He'll already be mad for that reason for the rest of the lab. In my humble opinion, it's going from established chaos to a new order, but he'll just see it as an unwanted and unneeded change, I'm sure. So yeah, I'm leaving his shelves and drawers the tornado spaces that they are. It's also a little petty because I'm super cleaning everything else, so his mess stands out way more now in comparison. I'm mostly cleaning for me. I'm sick of the same junk-filled, dusty spaces and want to have a system made in the last decade for the things we actually use now. And I can fill a large trash can with the amount of dust that I'm scrubbing off. After work, I kept the cleaning energy going and detailed our car. I cleaned it so deep that I found reading glasses and an earring from the last owner of the car. That was satisfying, but the best part was removing the stains on the passenger seat. It came out way easier than I expected once I got my carpet cleaner out. Now it looks and smells wonderful, and I'm ready to do car repairs to keep it in good shape. Emotionally ready, certainly not financially. After all that, I made pumpkin gnocchi for dinner, and we watched the season 3 finale of Scrubs. A good, but tiring day. Louise out. October 1st, Tuesday. It's finally a new month! It feels like it's been the end of September for way too long, and I'm ready for it to be spooky season. I'm trying to celebrate holidays as much as I can so that my months and years run together a little less. This October, I want to make pumpkin cookies, attend a Halloween party, go to a temporarily Halloween-themed roller coaster park, and carve pumpkins while watching scary movies. Probably have to reuse last year's couple costume, but that's okay. I'd love to get seasonal decor, but I also hate having things live in storage, so I'm alright with minimal stuff too. It was really hard going to work today. I slept bad, and I'm right in the middle part of reorganizing and cleaning the whole denture lab. I'm positive this is the most it's been cleaned since it turned into a denture lab. And I've only put in 2 days so far. Today, I mostly finished organizing the drawers, and I'm about halfway through cleaning them. I've only checked like one thing off of my growing list so far, but it's all going to go together with another day of cleaning. I'm just not going to be able to do everything that I wanted, but that leaves me with a list of things to clean when it's slow. My hope is to totally finish all the cupboards, drawers, shelves, and closet cleaning and organization, and to clean off the entire ceiling, walls, and floor. I'd love to get to the pan room too, but I'm also repainting the steps and I only have 3 days left. I'm working harder doing this than regular work. I'm hoping it's kind of a comparison of what I can get done in a week versus what Toenail gets done. One of my other coworkers and I talked briefly about how possessive he is of certain parts of the process. I've been watching and observing so close for so long, and I can confidently say he's got at least 3 major motives for his secret possessiveness. 1, he knows that teaching me his job threatens his position because then I can replace him. 2, he loves feeling needed, and this ensures he's always needed. And 3, he doesn't want my boss to know how little work he actually does, and keeping it secret somehow hides how short of a time it actually takes. Unless you have a lab assistant who's timing how much you spend working in a day, you can totally keep up that illusion. It's an average of about 30%, by the way. I started gathering hard data to present to my boss in my attempt to replace him, but after weeks of gathering, I just got so filled with hate that I had to stop. I'm not sure that my boss would actually care, or if he'd want to replace him no matter what, and I don't think I actually want to be that strictly reliable with my own attendance. I just want Toenail's pay and him out of the office. He runs the place and has the emotional intelligence of a toddler. This has been a work tangent. I'm trying to let go of more of the hate that I hold in. I've changed my affirmations on my little app. I re-clarified my goals and my weaknesses and made everything an I am statement rather than just saying something like, hate is bad. It's, I know hate is bad. That's not exactly one of them. My dorkiest one is, I do not touch or pick at my face. Trying to manifest that version of myself, you know? But one I'm repeating now is that I let anger and hate slide off me. And into my journal sometimes, I guess. Just trying to dump it on Paul less. I generate so much hate for old hurts that it's not a fair weight. Well, I'm excited to see the lab get clean. I'm swimming in dust and drawers of outdated supplies, but I'm being careful only to organize, not to throw everything away. I want to throw everything away. One of the shelves I organized in the back closet, I've mentally categorized as things I want to throw away. All of the shelves are basically that though. Toenail is a level 1 hoarder. It's satisfying to see the clean and have less chaotic junk everywhere. After work, I got supplies for painting the steps and promptly took a long nap. Now I'm writing this instead of cooking dinner, so I should probably go. Louise out. 10/2/24, Wednesday. Well, my goal today was to paint the steps and I didn't finish. I scraped, degreased, swept, and primed the steps, but I didn't get the color on because the color I got was very wrong. I tried to match the color from memory, and I know better than that. I felt so down about it because I'd really put in some vigorous physical effort to squeeze it all into a day, and then I had the wrong color. I got a Dutch Bros milkshake coffee to perk myself up, and it worked, but then I had a caffeine headache while grocery shopping with Paul. Still, I was perked up, and when we checked out, I won the Guess the Price game we play, and the cashier asked Paul if we were always this happy, Because she's seen us before and thought we were cute and having a good day, but now she's seen us multiple times and she had to ask. That felt ridiculously good to hear, and obviously made us both even happier. I think we are a very happy couple, especially when doing stuff together. I can get sad, and we can both get tired, and obviously we annoy each other and get upset and all that, but we always work it out until we're back to the happy part. I do love my husband. After putting groceries away, I took another nap, coffee be damned. My book is good. I'm reading The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin, and I think I'd like it a lot more as a physical book. The writing style gets a little dry in audiobook form, but the content is incredibly up my alley. Tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can get 2 coats of paint on both the sets of stairs and finish cleaning the drawers and cupboards so I can put the lab back together. In theory, then I'm going to go home and edit a video or 2 since we're going on a beach trip this weekend and I'll be with my family all next week. We'll see. 1 PBJ today, and Louise out. 10/3/24, Thursday. A sleepy one today. I slept about half an hour last night, and I didn't have any creamer, so I was forcing down black coffee just to avoid napping on the couch at work. I finished painting the stairs, and I mostly finished the cupboards and drawers. I wanted to go in tomorrow to work on the ceiling, but I couldn't get the energy going to edit 2 videos after work today, so I'll need tomorrow to do that. After I got home, I napped and ate dinner, and now it's bedtime again. 3rd day in a row. Naps are a hard habit to break when my body craves 11 hours of sleep a night, and on work nights I only give it about 7. That's not even bad for most people. I just know I need more sleep than most people. I'm the far end of the average. Plenty of people sleep and feel refreshed after 5 or 6 hours a night, but the average recommended is still 8 hours up to 9 hours. You are welcome, statistics. I got a D-, I think, in my college stats class. 2nd worst grade, next to microbiology. Dumb thing to take my 2nd semester. Anyway, I finished The Dispossessed, and I think maybe my problem was less with the writing style and more with the narrator. Very little intonation changes. My little cat wants pets, so I guess I gotta go. 1 PBJ, and Louise out.